I'm going to try this again. My screen has been going black as soon as I start telling the story. So tonight's story is Charlie Needs a Cloak. It is, this actual book is one of my childhood favorites, and this is the actual book that I read when I was little. I'm going to start off with a little vocabulary. So, to shear means to cut the wool off of a sheep. To card means to untangle wool with a comb or a brush. Spin is to twist wool into yarn. Weave is to twist threads into cloth. Sew is to fasten together with thread. And a cloak is a coat without any sleeves. So this is Charlie Needs a Cloak. Charlie was a shepherd. He had a cozy house, a big hat, a crook, and a flock of fat sheep. This is a crook, the thing he has in his hand. But everybody said, Charlie needs a cloak. See, his cloak is really tattered. See if we can find out how his cloak got so tattered. Poor Charlie. He really needed a new cloak. So, in the spring, Charlie sheared his sheep. Look, he chased them all around the fields, and then he cut their hair with his scissors. Then he washed the wool. He's got a sheep made her hair out of the bubbles. Then he carded the wool to straighten it out. So he took the wool and he brushed it out so it wouldn't be tangled. And it gets all the sticks and all the things that the sheep might have come into when they were running through the fields. Then Charlie spun the wool into yarn. There he is spinning the wool. And then the sheep over here has taken his wool, which is now yarn, and she made a coat for herself out of the yarn. Charlie wanted a red cloak, so he picked some pokeweed berries during the late summer and boiled them over a fire. Then Charlie dyed the yarn red in the berry juice. After the yarn was dry, Charlie put the strands on his loom. He has to get his yarn back from the sheep who's trying to take it. And every fall evening, he wore the yarn wove the yarn into cloth. He has his loom and he's turning the yarn into wool fabric. Usually people knit yarn, but sometimes they also weave. Charlie put the cloth on the table and cut it into little pieces. He pinned the pieces together. And then when winter came, Charlie had a new, beautiful cloak. And see over here? That is how his old cloak got all torn up. The sheep are trying to eat it. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I will see you next week. Good night.